said to me.
You still ain't tell us what happened with your job.
Huh?
He was supposed to tell us what happened with his job.
Oh,
He was. That's what we was talking
that
about.
was talking about he
Mhm.
I had a job where it was I was working at a bank. My mom wanted me, she worked for the school board, and next door was a credit union for the school board. And at that point I was really into, I wanted to do music business. I don't sing and all that stuff, but I was always fascinated about, A&R and the behind the scenes stuff. But she was like, you good with, I used to balance my dad's checkbook when I was like, I don't know, 8. So it's like, she was like, money, stuff like this. I want you to, have a back. This is what I want you to do. So I started working part-time there. And the manager is just this tall, ugly, racist white woman. And one day I'm sitting in a break room, I'm eating my lunch, minding my fucking business. And she walks in there and she says, um, she's like, I would love to hire more of you, but you just don't pass the credit checks. And then
Oh
she
More of
said,
you,
wow.
and then
bitch.
she and then she said, and then she came back and she's like, you know what? It wasn't someone else. It was your mother. Come to think of it, your mother never spoke to me until she wanted you to work here. Well, bitch, I already work here, so what the fuck you want to do? Then when I got pregnant, she came up to me one day and said my outfit was nice, and I simply said thank you. And I guess I didn't say thank you to the degree that she wanted it. So she was like, I don't know what it is about you, but you have such an attitude. And I looked at her and I just looked at her and kept doing what the fuck I was doing. Or she always had it out for me because she never liked when people complimented my clothes. So she would always, like, one time I wore some boots and I guess that was against the rules. And so she made it a point to be like, oh, you can't wear these type of shoes here. Bitch, I'm behind a fucking big ass, whatever you call it, cubicle shit. Nobody can see that. They only can see it when I walk around. Like, you're so fucking desperate to say some shit. But that is the type of shit that I've had to deal with being a black woman working in white spaces, because they literally think, they don't say that shit now, but they literally think it's okay to say that shit. And I will
And
always see, I would
it's
see black
always the
customers.
microaggressions. Those
Exactly.
microaggressions get on my fucking nerve. You remember the whole bear versus man, and then
Uh-huh.
it turned into who would you rather be alone in a conference room, a white woman or a white man? Here's the thing about that. Give me a bear, a dog, a chainsaw, Freddy, Jason, anything, Chucky, other than a white woman, because those
Yep.
microaggressions. And don't be smarter or more intelligent than
There you
them.
go.
I used to work for this company where a higher paying position came up. I knew the role of this position inside and out because I was technically doing some of that within my own position. Instead of promoting me, they brought in these two white people, a white woman and a white man, and had the fucking caucasity to ask me to train them. After you just told me that my years of qualification did not beat them just coming out of college with a degree, that my years of experience, but now you want me to train them.
Nah.
Baby, I immediately went on 2 weeks vacation.
Exactly.
Listen,
Because
you
you
I
got
not
wish
you.
I
doing
would.
that now. Because I do social media, it will only make sense for me to be on in the social media marketing department. Of course, I don't have a degree for it, but I'm really good at it. I have the fucking experience. I can show you my platforms to show you that I can show you the people that I've coached to show you that I'm good at this shit.
Right.
Been asking for a long time and they just keep overlooking me. They just hired some young mixed girl out of college, fresh out of college. All
They
she
just
got is a
they think they tell us, oh, experience matters, because at this I got eventually, they I was pregnant, and she had me I lived like literally like maybe 20 minutes away. They literally transferred me to another branch that was like 45 minutes to an hour away. And I'm like full blown showing pregnant. And that my only option was transfer or not have a fucking job. And so they found some bullshit to try to fire me about. And it was the best thing that happened because I didn't need to be there in the first fucking place. And
Yeah.
I eventually found something else. And then at that job, they were like, I told them, hey, I need more money. I have experience. And it's like, oh, well, if you go to school and you get your degree. So I put myself through the school at night for 2 years to get my associate's degree in accounting. When I tell you I got my fucking degree, and then they had another excuse. Oh, well, I said, okay, bet. So I ended up
The
working for the
goalpost.
school that I went to. And when I gave them my 2 weeks, every fucking day I didn't show up till like noon.
As you shouldn't have,
Cause
because
I'm
you was
like,
lucky to get that 2 weeks.
exactly, because I showed up. I'm like, bitch, I already got another job. What the fuck y'all gonna do? I straight disrespected them motherfuckers. I came in there whenever the fuck I felt like it. Because what the fuck are you gonna do? Nothing. But they hate when we are more intelligent
Yes.
than they are. They can't stand it. Whenever a white woman tells you, oh, I wish I could do that, beginning of the motherfucking end.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
that lets you know they're jealous and they gunning for you. Whenever a white
Because
woman has
their
said to
entire
me,
lives, all they have been taught, either consciously or subconsciously, all you got to be is white.
yep.
Yeah.
All you got to be is white. So
Mm.
when we come in there and we have that education and we have that experience and we have that power and we have that voice, you can best believe from the time you walk into that door, they are looking for a way to get you out of it.
Yep. And
Because you
that's
don't have to, white people have been taught you don't have to be smart, you just need to be white. So when
Yep.
they see a white man that's why they hate education. Because when they see an educated white rich man, they look at that as the exception and not the rule they were taught. But they
Yep.
also hate the fact that that white man is educated, because again, they were taught you don't have to be smart, you have to be white. Now when they see a black woman being the highest educated person in our in this country. We are the highest educated. They, and the fact that we out earn these poor white people, they don't see that as an exception. They see that as outright betrayal.
hmm.
Because how
Mm-hmm.
can you be a black woman that is smarter than me and out earning me? I am a white man. It does not matter. I should already have everything I want simply because I'm white. And that is
Yep.
what their grievance is with us, because they were told and sold the lie that they could have everything they want just because they're white men. And when they don't get that, it's a betrayal.
Yep.
And that brings us to this next video, and I'm just going to hop right into it.
The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like they're technical savvy, and I think that it is time that we call them out. Like that
Yep.
we can't stand by and stand back. Like we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing. The number one.
What do you think?
Baby, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There is not a man alive or dead that deserves sloppy top more than Tim Tebow right now. Because let me tell you something. I talk about this so much. I make videos after videos. White men are the most dangerous animal on the planet as it pertains to be child violence, child SA, production of child porn. They are the most dangerous animal on the planet. But the way they will push this stereotype against white men are, and it's intersectional because white men are leading in fatherless homes, and that is why they cannot keep their hands off of children. They will grab their Bibles, go to a country on the edge of this fucking planet somewhere just to fuck on kids in the name of their God. They are the most violent, the most just dangerous animal on the planet. And I'm so glad, because when we say it, it's not that they don't want to hear it, they don't want to be faced with their own truth.
Yep.
So him saying it and watching people crash out behind it, baby, when I tell you I've never bought so much popcorn in my fucking life, I got on Twitter and them white people was, he meant black fathers. Oh, he's a sellout. He's a this. Baby, the way they eating this man up for speaking the truth. White
True.
people do not want to be faced with their own immortality. They don't want to be put in front of the mirror of their own demise. This is the world they created, and white women perpetuate it because white women have the backbones of a slug. And they continue, and they out here joining in on it most of the time. Let's be real.
It's
Look at
There
all
the,
these
was
white
the
female teachers.
audacity of
Come
them.
on.
It's the audacity of them to try to act like they be so educated when you can just do a simple Google search on the FBI website that shows that the race that commits the most crimes is white people. It's not black people at all.
Yep.
They lead the most in child abuse, in violent crimes, in robberies, in domestic violence. They lead in every section.
I
And,
just
and
did
it's
a
just a
video about that a
simple
couple of
Google
weeks
search.
ago, and I ran those stats down.
Yep. Now I saw a video of a white Trump supporter. It was a rally or whatever. And this white woman, as she's holding this child, she says, I was raped by my father, but I made the choice to keep my
Oh, I
baby.
saw
Oh
that.
And
yeah.
Yes,
and
Pissed me
they
off so bad.
the way they cheered for her, but it was
It
yes.
like, but
came out of that
pay attention to what she said. I made the choice.
choice.
Race.
So you're saying that you made the choice to keep your rapist baby. So why don't we have the choice to abort
That
our
part.
rapist baby? Because you said, and the way they cheered her on was so fucking disgusting.
Listen.
Because she literally
How
just
you know that go on in a lot of their homes?
exactly, because she
Because they
didn't have
feel like
no,
they are entitled to the bodies of their children.
yeah.
This is the sickest shit I don't
I
understand.
know
But it's
they tried to
always been
legalize
like
it,
that.
right? They
Yeah.
tried to
Huh?
legalize it and make it a mental disorder. I forgot what they were going to call it, but they were trying to add it to a part of the LGBTQ. Like one, they tried to add a letter, but making it add a P essentially because they're trying to say it's a mental illness and not nothing they should be arrested for.
Oh,
How
God.
sick
Cannot
is
think
that?
of the name of it. But much like the white bitches of the Confederacy, that group, there is a whole ass white woman group. I'm not making this shit up. I wish I could fact check it real quick and find the name of it. They advocate for pedophiles. These are human beings. They can be changed. They can be saved, and there's nothing wrong with them. They just suffering from mental. Bitch, are these bitches are insane? And
Yep.
this is why I say white women. If it were not for white women, if white women would just get a fucking backbone, if they can get that boot off their neck, if they can get up off their fucking backs and open their mouths, a lot of this shit that is destroying because it's reaching out into our city. The guy who just was sentenced to the white guy who was just sentenced to 210 years for grabbing his Bible and taking his humped fat ass over there to Haiti, opening an orphanage just so that he can have ready access to the bodies of these children.
That
This is
that
sick.
it's sick, and it's like you said, it is spreading up in our community. Because did y'all see? There's a man on TikTok. There's a video. The little girl, and they call her Miss Shirley. That right there is a
That
problem
is,
too.
oh,
The girl does, she does the boots on the ground, and it's cute or what have you. A black man drove hours to go to a late night meet and greet with this baby, and when he held her, he was literally hugging her creepily and crying because he couldn't believe that he got to meet her. Finally, a black man called CPS on the mother, and I guess they're starting to investigate, but she's literally selling her child. Because why is that baby doing meet and greets at bars, at clubs, at night? She's 4
Say
years
that she
old.
shouldn't.
She's 4 years old. If a man, I don't give a fuck what color you are, but to see our own be on that type of bullshit, talking about you drove hours to see a child, if that ain't a motherfucking red flag, I don't know what is. You should have called the police immediately when he said that shit. And it's other grown men that show up to hold her. Ain't no way in the fucking world you gonna hold my. I wouldn't let you hold my baby, let alone a fucking toddler that I don't know you, and you just picking her up, and she's a girl, and you crying. Oh, I 4 hours to see her. Why would you drive 4 hours to see a 4-year-old and you a grown ass man? I would be looking at you sideways if you was a grown ass woman doing that shit because it's fucking weird.
It is.
But you know
I got
what?
a question for y'all. I got a question for
Mm,
y'all. Do y'all know why they came up with the legal age to get married?
No.
White people. It was a white man. It's not funny, but it was a white man who pretty much, this little girl said she was going to the store and she was
Oh
like,
yes, I saw that. The neighbor, she went
yeah, the
9 years
neighbor
old and
and
came back
married her.
married. Yep.
Married her.
The
And then when
neighbor
she got
married her.
older and they had kids, well, not when she got older because she had kids before she should have been able to have kids. But once their kids got older, they had a 16-year-old daughter who was interested in a 22-year-old man, and the father had him arrested. But you married your 9-year-old neighbor when you was in your 20s. And you
but you
mad
know what? This is
at
nothing new, because if you go back to the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, if you were 10 years old, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and you weren't married off, you were considered an old hag. This is
Wow.
something that is in them. It's something about wanting to, and again, it goes to this idea of superiority. White men really believe that they are entitled to everything, and that includes the bodies of children. I will never understand it. I will never understand the women, the white women that allow it. I will never, because I'm going to tell you, I don't care what who you are, anybody. I was touched by molestation and rape when I was a kid. And when I think about my children, and they always knew, and I am not asking anyone for help. You will never see Janine Annette Blasine, my whole last government name, on the news begging for my oppressors to help me. The only thing you're going to see is me watching the news and getting every document I can to find out where you live. Where is your family? Where are you based? Because I'm about to be the worst thing that's ever come across your timeline in your life.
Yep.
White men have an inherent fucking this thing with kids. I don't understand what it is. It's this domination, it's this possession. It's I can do it because I'm white. I don't know what it is, but it's sick, and white women don't speak out on it enough. They perpetuate it because they're afraid, because like I said, they have the backbones of a slug. And so it gets to the point where they think it's okay, Nikki, to do what that white woman did, or Maya, I forget one of y'all, which one of y'all brought that up, and get up there and talk about the rape that she endured from her father and having that baby, and it's normalized. And then you connect that again, intersectionality, because then you have the white pastor saying that if you beat your wife and she calls the police, she's not a good woman.
Yep.
You know,
I
and we
think,
think these things are anomalies, but since
but
the
then
dawn
no.
of time, this is what they've been teaching white women.
mm.
This is the role, these are the roles that have been perpetuated and normalized. So while it may be weird to us, it is very much ingrained into who they are.
this
It is
goes
because you can see it when you watching Game of Thrones and the new one that came out. They show it, but I think with white women, the patriarchy, the white woman's role has always been to be purely ornamental. You are to be
Ornamental,
seen and
exactly.
not, you are to be seen and not heard, which because of that, white women are rooted in perception. And when you're
Yeah,
rooted in perception, your greatest fear is exposure, which is
yeah,
why they will
Mhm.
hide behind what white men are doing. That is why they are so desperately afraid of black women, because black women will has been clocking y'all fucking teeth since the dawn of time. We
yeah,
know y'all secrets. We know y'all lies. And so we have the power to always put you on display. We have the power to expose you. And again, that is their greatest fear, is exposure, because they are
Yeah.
rooted in perception. They don't care
Yeah.
what it is, they care what it looks like.
And
Wanna
appearance
that
is
go back to
everything.
something I said
They'd
last.
rather lie and cover up the bullshit because appearances, good heavens, the world can't see this,
Yep.
Thing is, this goes back to what I said. I believe it was last week when I said that white women were slaves just like our ancestors because they had no say so over themselves. Because I'm trying to understand what in your mind would think it's okay to let your husband lay down with your baby every night. And
Yep.
you still with this man walking around, no consequences, no nothing, and you normalize that shit. You normalize your grandbaby also being a brother or sister of their mom. That
Yeah.
shit makes no motherfucking sense for you to think that's okay. Even just thinking to just simple shit like the Menendez brothers case when they
Yeah.
off their parents. If that man was really taking showers with his fucking kids and lady, you sitting there letting that happen, that is
Yep.
sick.
When I was in
Yep.
the country, because I grew up in foster care, and they sent me way out there. Everybody was either sister, brother, wife, somebody was related to an aunt, and I was like, well, how is this your niece, but this is also your aunt? And it's because a lot of them grandfather molested one of the grandchildren, or the dad married one of the cousins, and it was really like that in the
Oh
country.
my
And I was just
God.
like, what the hell is going on here? So everybody would have the same last names, everybody was related. I was like,
That is, they wonder why they all missing brain cells and can't fucking.
That's
Oh,
their way of keeping
shit.
things all white, because they have to breed amongst themselves, because they know, if you look at them how society is going, Latino people are outranking us as far as like the amount of people in this country. So white people are phasing the fuck out. So the only way in their mindset is just like in Game of Thrones. They have to keep the bloodline. So the only way to do that is to fuck amongst each other. That's why they try to normalize it. They normalizing it because that is the way to keep the white race white.
And that is why they have all these anti-abortion laws and bill in place and bills in place, because it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with white people now being the minority.
Yep.
And these white women are not getting married and having babies like they. So in their mind, you're gonna have a baby one way or another.
Yep.
If I gotta live, you're gonna have a white baby one way or another.
That's
You
exactly what it
know.
is. That's what it is, because they don't care about our mortality rate. They don't care about Latino mortality rates. They care about, they don't even care about white women. They just want them to have a baby because they know white women
Yep.
are not having children anymore. They're not having it the way that the most white women now, they have no interest in having children. So they trying to turn this shit into the handmaid's tale, because that is the only way that they're going to continue their lineage, because at a certain point it's going to be phased the fuck out. All of this bullshit is about the census. That's all this is about. They
Yep.
need though they need
Yep.
them they need them white numbers to be going up. And they're gonna
Yep.
do it by any means fucking necessary. So if it's
Yep.
gotta be through rape, it's gonna be through rape. If it's gotta be through molestation, whatever it is, they're going to ensure that white women are gonna have a baby. Just like you said, one way or the fucking other. That's how it's gonna happen. And that's what this shit
Yep.
is all about. That's why white men are consistent predators, because they want to keep, especially the men that are in like the head of the family. That's why they
Yep.
turn a blind eye to that shit, because they know that's the only way to continue their sick ass lineage.
Yep.
And and I want to go into some of the comments to see if we might have hit on some things that we might see in the comments here. So this was posted by Carolina Crust TV. He said, "Come on, now this has to be AI, not Tim Tebow calling out his own. This is boiled down to the MF and bone." And then Vonnie Kitchen says, "Watching To Catch a Predator told me all I needed to know." Carlito Dollar, they're the same offenders that comment usual suspects on Black crimes record.
There you go.
Yep. Yep.
The Superman 1977, most of them are Christians. Don't leave that part out.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Toy, Tita, Bonita, the whites, real quiet in these comments.
Yep.
It sure is.
Yeah,
But had he got on there and said black men,
they,
baby, it
Oh,
wouldn't.
they would have
yeah,
been
They
loud
would
and
have shut.
proud. Oh,
Social media apps would have shut down because of how much they would have been commenting. Had he said black men.
and and this goes into another thing. When I was in Kansas, They always talk about drug dealers. I said the biggest drug dealers was the white boys.
Yes, they were.
Every drug dealer I knew, and let me say, I've seen some of their houses get raided by cops, and the cops, all they did was confiscate it. They said, we're going to give you a warning, and they walked out the house. I said,
Wow.
are you serious?
Wow.
And I mean, one dude I knew, he had like pounds
Wow.
of, this is when weed was illegal, and he had pounds and pounds of weed. And they just confiscated, took some of his money, and left. And then one of my friends, he had got arrested.
Wow.
They called his mom, and then his mom came down and bailed him out. And then they was like, we're going to give him this a written warning, just not to do this again. We might have him do community service. And I'm sitting here like, but a black kid will have a little joint, and y'all trying to give him 20 years for that.
Right.
Yep.
That's why I'm telling you, I can't. When I said I was ready to get the hell up out of Kansas, I said y'all can't pay me
Always
enough.
double standard when it comes to us. We can just be done finished smoking a blunt, and but if they find a little roach, they trying to take us down. Like, but for them, like in Augusta, somebody just was raided a few weeks ago, and it was a white boy who had pounds of everything. I'm talking about he had the hard stuff, the Fenty, the meth, the all, like he had all of that stuff. There was no drug, no guns that came about, which we know that if you had all of that stuff, you had to have some guns and stuff too.
Yeah.
Report everything when it comes to their people, just like when they put the news reports out. When it's a black man, they say black man committed this crime, black woman committed this. But when they white, you don't hear none of that. You got to play guess what race it is.
Yeah.
When it comes to they
That goes back to the 80s when Reagan dropped crack into the black neighborhood, crack and guns, because his whole thing was, I'm gonna let you niggas cancel yourselves out. Which now we got, that's why you have the mandatory minimums. It's fucking racist because white people do cocaine, mostly black people do crack. But when you do
Yep.
cocaine, you don't get no serious charge like when you get crack. When you catch a black person doing crack. And now same thing, crack, meth is the new fucking crack for white people. White people, the reason why I can't go to motherfucking to the drugstore and get some goddamn Sudafed without showing my fucking ID.
Yep.
Come
listen.
on.
I
Yep.
heard
I've
when I went
noticed
to the
that.
on.
when I went to try to get some Sudafed, and they said you got to show your ID, and I asked them why. I was so dumbfounded. I said, they do what with it? They use this to do what? Are you kidding me? Do I look like a person? She was like, well, man, we just got to do it for everybody. Baby, I it's
That's
fucked
what
up.
they do. I ordered that shit. I ordered some cold medicine, and they was like, "Be prepared to show your ID." I'm like, "For I knew why they wanted it, but I was like, this is the shit. It's because of white people. They can't even we can't even buy cold medicine because of them. But y'all want to talk shit about black people?
But you have to
We about
remember
no,
too,
we about to
these are
run out of
the
time. We about to. I know we have so much to talk
okay.
about. We about to run out of time. Since this is the last segment of today's show, I want to end on the good note. This video had me hollering, laughing the other day, so I think I am going to go ahead and get this played for you.
Okay.
What you
Oh,
saying?
this one was funny.
Still the same. I'm Charles McCarter. I'm gonna die Charles McCarter. Look, I don't even know why you here. I ain't giving you a dime. Call Brenda and get my kids. Where are my kids? Look, just get the hell out. I ask you to do one little thing, and you can't even do that after 18 years. Get out!
Let me explain something to you. Old Helen is gone, and you will not talk to me like that. Now, I came here to help you, but now I'm gonna get even.
And like,
Brenda and your kids.
Okay.
Do you see what you left me for? This is what you left me for. She didn't give a damn about you, Charles. She told them to let you die. I was your wife. I loved you. I never would have hurt you. Why did you do this to me? To us? Answer me! And you know what's funny? I gave you life, even though you took it from me. Your kids, your boys. What are children, Charles? And had you not been with those whores, we would have them. Got me all stressed out, my hair falling out, my weight up and down, can't keep anything down. 2 marriages. You took life from me, and you never even said I'm sorry.
So I just want to play that for y'all.
That was so good.
And you what? I had to comment, Janine, that shirt. I had to say something about that shirt. Where'd
You
you get
like
that
that shirt?
from?
You know, this was a gift to me from somebody who started a t-shirt line, and she gave me one that says Black Kings and then Black Queens as well. But this was years ago. I can't shop here in Chicago. I'm gonna try to figure it out and see if I can remember where it came from.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have y'all do your outros. Thank y'all so much. This is our first official show with the official ABA name. So we'll be having our social medias popping up soon. Nikki, where can they find you at?
I am on Instagram as bitch_happens. I'm on YouTube as knickknack23. That's NIKNAK23. And on TikTok it's bitch happens all together, no underscore.
All right. And Maya?
Hey y'all, it's your girl Maya Lamise. You can find me on all platforms at Maya Lamise, like it's right there, Maya Lamis. And y'all, this is ABA podcast, a black ass podcast, just in case y'all was wondering what it meant, a black ass podcast. And make sure y'all stay tuned because we're gonna have merch. We're gonna have everything, okay? And we're gonna keep having these good old conversations. So thank y'all for having me. Thank
And
y'all.
last but not least, Janine.
Y'all can find me on every single platform, same name, same bad time, same bad channel, boss up and get it now. And hang in there with us because we about to give y'all this work. We about to give y'all this work.
Well, thank y'all for tuning in, and we will definitely see y'all next time. Take care.